allegedly have individuals on the tape that are underage. Therefore, if anybody looks at those tapes, has them in their possession, they are guilty of a crime. And we know for a fact that these tapes supposedly from Mr. Avenatti have also gone to CNN. CNN, different people from CNN have actually, quote, talked about these tapes. And so we know that they've seen them. All of those different levels at this point are simply being looked over, and so that they can focus here on Robert Kelly's case. I'm Nicole Becker. I was a prosecutor for approximately 18 years in Detroit and in Macomb. I am part of Robert's legal team. As a former prosecutor, I am very aware of how a criminal process should occur. In other words, I am very familiar with the investigative stage, the warrant stage, and the actual prosecution. I've had experience on both sides. I was also the chief of the sex unit in Michigan for years in Macomb County. I will be handling any questions about the Detroit matter. That's all I have. Thank you, guys.
Can you tell us your first impressions of this case, how you're involved?
I wish I could, but I don't have any discovery. We don't have enough of the discovery about the specifics of this particular case yet. It's taken quite some time. Thank you.
Why do you think it is that you don't have any? Can you talk about that?
You know, I wish I could, but apparently the process is here in Chicago, at Cook County. They take some time. So if we were doing it in Michigan, it'd be a lot different. So I am patiently awaiting all of the discovery.
Thank you.
Michigan,
is there anything else from Michigan on that?
You say you went from Macomb County, you were a prosecutor in Macomb County?
I was a prosecutor in Macomb County, and I was the chief of the second.
Can you spell your last name? Spell your first name.
Nicole is Nicole, blank, Blank, Becker, Becker, no hyphen. Got it.
What's your title?
Just a great name. Your title.
I'm part of, we're all lawyers and we're all part of Robert's team.
Defense?
We're here to protect
Defense,
his rights. Yes.
Defense on this one.
I'm on the other side now, yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Take care.
What's going on, beautiful people? How y'all doing? How y'all doing today? Let me start off by saying free R. Kelly. Still can't believe that this man just now spent 2 years in custody, but you know, obviously with the climate and stuff like that, you know, the Me Too and the way things are going, you know, with so-called quote unquote powerful men, you know, in America or whatever. You know, it is what it is. You know, he was acquitted, like we keep saying this. And you know, they said he obstructed justice. So it's all allegations though, everybody. You know, we got to keep that in mind. It's all allegations. Unfortunately, the federal government thinks that allegations is enough to hold somebody in custody for 2 years, even though they was letting everybody out for COVID, even convicted criminals. But you know, like I said, it's R. Kelly, and right now, the climate with this Me Too movement, they got at Bill Cosby, and now they moved they rearranged their focus and their direction towards R. Kelly. And once this machine in the industry is after you, it is very hard to find some type of light anywhere. You know what I mean? It's like they put this dark cloud over you, and it is hard to find light. What I want to talk about, though, I haven't got a chance to talk about it yet. I haven't really gave my opinion on it, so I'm gonna do that now. I like to. I don't really like to jump into something right away because without actually getting all the details of things and stuff like that, so I can give my opinion the best way the best way I can or whatever. But I think that this whole R. Kelly wanting to remove Stephen Greenberg and Mr. Leonard and make Nicole and Mr. Farinelli the lead attorneys, I think that that is the best thing that he could have done right now, as far as with considering the lawyers that he has now. I think that was the best decision, and I'm trying to figure out why he did not make this decision sooner. Obviously, Stephen Greenberg, believe it, I mean, it might not seem like it, but he has a pretty good reputation as an attorney in Illinois, from what I'm hearing. However, it was too many things that he did that it just didn't look like he was giving his best to represent R. Kelly. Obviously with the dumb motions, and then going on national TV and admitting, or not admitting, but saying that R. Kelly married Aaliyah when he's not even being charged for that. I just feel like he was very unprepared. Even with the whole where to send money, what defense fund to send money to, he's been unprepared. And he just hasn't seen, it just hasn't seemed like they should have been in the media. As much as bad publicity that R. Kelly has gotten from the media, his attorney, Stephen Greenberg, he was the lead attorney, so I'm putting it on him right now, should have been in the media just as much, trying to defend his name. You see what I'm saying? But obviously, he wasn't doing that, at least, he was at first, but not, that's quickly ceased. But back to the ranch, I think that having Miss Nicole Becker represent R. Kelly, that is the best idea. Because with this climate right now, I think that it's better for a woman to defend R. Kelly and go up against women prosecutors. Do you see what I'm saying, everybody? I think this is the best bet. Because the climate right now, it's gonna be hard, I think, in these cases, for a man to be the lead attorney going at it against women prosecutors. I mean, to me, it just seems like that is not the best decision. Having another woman, speaking up for him and defending him, going up against other women, I mean, that's just brilliant, in my opinion. That's just brilliant, and it seems like they know it. I think the federal government knows it, because magically, they was trying to say that it was a conflict of interest and all this and all that, and saying that she, because of her relationship with Azriel and Joycelyn and all that. Listen, just because when Azriel was with R. Kelly, obviously she was one of his women at the time, so it's not strange, or to me it's not a conflict for one of his attorneys to be conversing with his girlfriends. I mean, that's not, you know what I'm saying, everybody? So it's like, I feel like they know that this is the better idea, and especially with her background in law and stuff like that, and I feel like that they are trying to prevent this man from having her as his attorney. And it's just like, at what point do we sit here and ask ourselves, if this man, I know that people on this side have been asking this. I know I have, and I know my wife has, and several other bloggers. At what point do we say, if this man is so guilty, according to the prosecution, federal government, according to these women, according to just pretty much everybody, why is it that they have tried so hard to prevent him from having a fair trial, They pretty much try to stop every move he tries to make, and they try to prevent him from having they've been trying to prevent him from having the proper resources from day one. Okay, ever since they started the Mute R. Kelly movement, everybody, as we know, started trying to, well, they didn't try, they did prevent this man from making money. Okay, and I don't understand why everybody is not enraged about that. You know, that is a problem when in America people can stop you from working because of an allegation that they ain't got nothing to do with in the first place. That is a scary day in America, and I'm trying to tell y'all something. It's not going to get better. The fact that they was able to do this and there has been no repercussions, there's been no outrage, no outcry about it. They are going to continue to do this to other black men in America. I do believe that. And you know, I hate to say make it a racial thing, but listen, I do not feel like they would have done that to Kevin Spacey. I just do not think, or let's say let's keep it at music. Let's say Garth Brooks or something. If Garth Brooks had allegations on him, I do not believe that it would have been a group of women able to go to this man's shows and prevent him from making money and getting his shows canceled. I just do not believe that, everybody. I don't. You know, I just don't believe it. You know, and then even with them not letting him make money, you know, they're putting judgments on this man. Basically, anybody that put in a claim against him, he hasn't made it to court. His attorney resigned from representing him in this situation with the studio. R. Kelly didn't get it in time, apparently, or didn't show up to defend himself. So, boom, there goes a judgment. It's like, then he got another judgment. Then they saying he owes the IRS. It's like, how do they expect this man to have money to properly defend himself? And I think that if he was so guilty, there would be no need for all of this. You know what I'm saying? There would be no need for him to keep him in custody when they could have easily let him out, at least definitely for COVID, and they could have let him be in detention at his home. You see what I'm saying? While he awaited trial, and that way he could have prepared for his cases better. You know what I'm saying? And more effectively. But obviously, like I said, they've been trying to keep it, you know, his hands tied behind his back ever since this thing started. You know, ever since this thing started. First thing they tried to do is they tried to mute his music, like I said. And they know, based on the last trial, the 2008 trial, that they heard him talking in his interviews and stuff. And I remember he did the interview saying that the labels wanted him to stop making music a certain way and just, you know, kind of like lay low. But he didn't agree with that. You see what I'm saying? So he chose to continue making music. He puts out Ignition. That is one of the biggest hits of all time. And then next thing you know, the labels are like, oh, we got to do a video. We got to do this. We got to do that. You know what I'm saying? So they know the power in music. And they know, especially with a talent like R. Kelly, his music is his greatest weapon other than God Almighty. You understand, everybody? Other than God Almighty, his music is his greatest weapon. And they made sure, they learned from the first time in 2008, and they made sure that they got to that music and tried to get that music muted from the jump. You understand? They did that from the jump. And then you add in all this media, this media bias and the media, you know, the press conferences by these celebrity attorneys, basically, because that's what I consider Michael Avenatti and Gloria Allred. They're celebrity attorneys. They're holding press conferences, you know, media attorneys. You know what I mean? They're always in the media trying to get publicity and trying to get press and all that. And they're telling the world that this is a guilty man. You know what I'm saying? They're telling the world this is a guilty man. And I think that's just, that's wrong, man. I think that's wrong. You know, and not only that, everybody, they tried to say that because of social media, that's why he has a sequestered jury. And you know what? That could be why the judge did that. You know what I'm saying? And it's such an insult. It's like, it's such an audacity when all the media coverage that did coverage on R. Kelly, basically, like I said, telling the world that this is a guilty man, that this man has been doing this for 30 years. He's a monster. He's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. I mean, Michael Avenatti said he is confident that he will die in prison. You know, he calling him a pedophile in the media and on TV when he is not even... That's not even
interview you'll see only on CBS this morning. The two women told us
for some reason they want to keep calling
there is nothing inappropriate about their arrangement with the 52-year-old singer. What is your relationship, both of you, with R. Kelly?
We're with him. That's our relationship.
We're with him. Yeah, that's what it is.
And we're in a relationship with him.
Right.
You just said it.
A very strong relationship as well.
Both of you?
Yes, most definitely.
You know, how do we say this without being inappropriate? Is this a three-way relationship, or do you each have a separate relationship with him? How does this work?
Well, both
I'm
of
curious.
those.
Yeah.
We both have our individual relationships with him, and we all are family all together. We have our moments where we sit and watch movies all together. We go to amusement parks all together.
I'm not talking about Azriel going to movies and sitting watching, going to parks. I'm talking about, is it a three-way sexual relationship?
Sexually? Well, first of all, I'm not here to talk about my personal life, and I would never share with no one what I do in or outside of the bedroom. And as a woman, I'm sure you would not either.
Yes. No, I wouldn't, but
okay, then. So,
no, you're
next
right.
question.
No, you're right. I would not, but this is a very different circumstance.
It's not a different circumstance. There are people all over the world who have multiple girlfriends. It's no different.
Do both of you all believe you're in love with him?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Of course.
Should your parents be concerned?
No.
Why?
Well, my parents knew where I have always been for 4 years. They have known. They know that I've been well taken care of.
They never thought you were missing, Azriel. They just were wondering if you were okay.
Well, my parents have actually came to Chicago and seen me a few times. I've talked to them. They stopped answering my calls.
You know what they say? They say that you were brainwashed. I talked to your dad last night. He says, my daughter is brainwashed, and he's very concerned. He said he was here 2 days ago, and you wouldn't even look him in the eye.
Okay, I wouldn't look him in the eye because he's a liar, and he's a manipulative liar.
I'll tell you why they're concerned, Azriel, because they say she's 17. We found text messages that indicated that she was having sex with R. Kelly when she was 17. Is that true?
No, that is a lie. That is a lie. I was not having sex with him at 17.
Why would they want to lie about you, their daughter?
Okay, so when I first met Robert, my parents told me to lie about my age. So when I met him, he thought that I was 18. On top of that, when I was 17, my parents were actually making me, trying to get me to take photos with him, take sexual videos with him, all kinds of stuff.
Wait. Your parents encouraged you to do sexual videos with R. Kelly?
Yes. And they said because if they ever have to blackmail him, what they're trying to do now, they can use it against him, which is exactly what they're doing.
Joycelyn, I see you nodding a lot with what she's saying. Why are you nodding in agreement with what she's saying?
Because everything that she's saying is true. Our parents are basically out here just to get money, and
your parents, you're saying the same as saying?
Well, both of our parents are basically out here to trying to get money and scam because they didn't agree on what happened, you know, with music or wherever it could be, and they're just very upset.
This is the first time hearing, to be honest with you, that your parents are trying to get money from R. Kelly.
Okay.
Because your father told a very different story to me last night.
Yeah, he's the manipulative. He's very manipulative, so he's the one you need to watch out for. But my dad and my mom, they started to send threats to both me and him. They said, oh, I'll put all your naked pictures all over the world. I'm going to ruin you. I'm going to ruin him. If he doesn't send $20,000 to this bank account by Monday, oh, I'm going to put everything out there and then $10,000 after that. You're trying to solicit me like I'm some hoe. I'm not. I'm your child.
Exactly.
Yeah, you sound very angry with your parents. You sound very angry and very pained. Tell me, Azriel, why you're crying. Tell me.
I'm crying because you guys don't know the truth. You guys are believing some facade that our parents are saying. This is all lies for money. And if you can't see that, you're ignorant and you're stupid as because you want to be. All because that's the world we live in. Negativity sells. Gossip is what sells. Rumors are what sells.
Exactly.
But Joycelyn and Azriel, this is more than gossip. This is more than just rumors. These are decades of allegations against Robert Kelly.
We're not here to talk about decades. We're here to talk about what our parents are doing right now.
Right.
And what they're doing right now is all for money.
Right.
Now, both sets of parents deny ever asking Kelly for money or receiving money from him. You know, as I watched as I was talking to them, because I had talked to the father, there are two very different stories. I'm sure Mr. Clary, if he watches this morning, his head will explode because he has a very different version of what these young women are saying. And his team had told us that R. Kelly would not be in the room. After the interview started, he was around the corner behind them. They couldn't see him. But at points during the conversation, he would cough very loudly like that, so they were aware that he was there.
He wanted them to know that he tried to stop the interview backstage a couple times.
Yeah, a couple of times. Laz, who was taking those amazing photos that you've seen, is my makeup artist, who's also a very good photographer, as you also see. R. Kelly came up to him and said, should I stop this interview? Should I stop this interview? He never did. So the girls at some point were certainly aware that he was there. And I just wanted to say, as a mother, get your things, let's go. You are 21, you are 23, and he is 52 years old. And I know many people believe age is just a number. When you're looking at these young women, they parrot a lot of what he is saying.
It's ugly to watch, but abuse is ugly. And the manipulation that continues, and the powerlessness, and trying to feel powerful, and the blame. It's a
bad situation. I think one day, years from now, everybody will look back on this and just say it's very sad, very tawdry, and just very, very ugly.
I hope that what comes of this is that people go to the websites, and we should post them too, that his ex-wife talked about, where you can look at the signs of whether you're in an abusive relationship or not, because you'll find out, hey, I'm in 8 of these 10, and then you realize I need help.
Yeah, now they do not think they're being abused or manipulated or brainwashed, but again, they're 21 and 23. In our next hour, we will ask R. Kelly
is back in jail this morning for not paying his child support bills. He was arrested yesterday in Chicago after he failed to pay more than $161,000 he allegedly owes. Now, that happened just hours after Gail's explosive interview with him first aired. Kelly also faces 10 charges of aggravated criminal sexual abuse. Court documents allege 3 of his 4 accusers were underage at the time. Kelly has pleaded not guilty.
The 2 women that Kelly lives with are Azriel Clary and Joycelyn Savage. They were in court as he was arraigned on those charges last week. Their parents say they believe the singer has brainwashed them. We asked R. Kelly about allegations that he lured these young women with promises of helping their singing careers. Now, Kelly claims it was Savage's mother who pushed him on the issue.
She started promoting that Joycelyn could sing, and she was a singer, and she's trying to be a singer, and wanted me to produce her and whatever. I said, well, let her sing. She sang and she couldn't sing.
But how does it go from she can't sing, you don't think she has a talent that you like, but she ends up being with you, spending time with you, living with you?
Because I'm not with her for her talent. When I saw her on stage, nothing about her told me she sing. I don't have I can't say, oh, that girl sing. It's because she was beautiful.
Well, we then interviewed Azriel Clary and Joycelyn Savage with R. Kelly, who was standing nearby, even though his team had told us he would not be in the room. He entered after the interview began. They told us that their parents are just looking for money, which both sets of parents deny.
All right, so I looking back at that again, I mean, I've seen it so many times, but it seems like every time I see it, I get more and more just upset about the whole situation on how Gayle King conducted that interview. Like I was saying earlier, she interviewed this man as a guilty man, and that to me is not the way a journalist should interview somebody. They should be, neutral. They should not project their opinion towards towards a side. You see what I'm saying? That to me is just, I don't agree with that. And then I noticed that Azriel, right? She said that her parents always knew where she was at, and she was well taken care of, and then she even said that they had came to Chicago to see her a few times. And I'm just like, well, when you look at how sincere she was in that interview, are we not supposed to believe that she was being honest with that interview? I mean, because to me, she seemed more genuine there than anything else that she's ever done. Anything else she's ever done, that seemed like somebody that was genuine, somebody that was telling the truth. And to me, I don't understand how how the prosecution is really going to pull this off with her as you know, an accuser and as a witness in this case. I mean, I just don't understand how we're supposed to forget about that interview. I just don't get it.
She's not really, to me, in my opinion, I just don't feel like she's very credible now. She's been all over the place. But back to that interview, it's like she was so sincere. I believed her and everything she was saying. I actually did. And I wonder how come Gail didn't mention the fact that all over the news, the Clarion Savages were saying these women were being held hostage.
That she didn't, you know what I'm saying? It's like they haven't touched on none of these none of these facts that that we on social media has pointed out. I mean, that's why I always say we have to get it to mainstream media. But listen, I'm no dummy. I know that is not an easy thing to do when you have a red flag over your name like R. Kelly does. You know what I'm saying? It it's ridiculous, man, how they choose to ignore all the facts that could help R. Kelly prove R. Kelly's innocence. And they just continue to push these lies and these narratives. There's so many people like Jim Derogatis and a lot of these parents have pushed. I mean, Michael Avenatti, for God's sake, is a convicted criminal. I don't hear Gayle King mentioning that.
None of that stuff. I mean, these women were supposed to be locked up. They didn't know where their daughters were. All lies.
Yep.
Nobody is addressing that.
Yep. And Azriel, not only did she say that in this interview, but she also said it in the president's documentary. Like, nah, you knew exactly what was up. And like we've said before, he did not challenge her. I'm talking about her father, Angelo Clary. He didn't challenge what she was saying. He did not challenge what she was saying. You know what I'm saying? Also, she said that when she first met R. Kelly, right? She said that R. Kelly thought she was 18 already, when we know that she did turn 18 like a few months later or something. That's why I don't understand why they are so hell-bent on this 17 thing. Like, oh my God, she was 17 for a whole year. I mean, she was turning 18, for God's sake. And my thing is, she said that her parents was trying to get her to take photos and videos, like sexual photos and videos with R. Kelly, so that they could blackmail him. And she said that she didn't have sex with him at 17. And once again, it goes back to, how are we supposed to forget about this interview and how sincere she sounded in this interview? And Joycelyn even said that both of their parents are just trying to get money and scam, because they're not happy about the music and the fact that R. Kelly hasn't pushed them in their music careers. And that is like obvious. We've been saying for the longest now, you could tell how they talk. You know what I'm saying? That they're upset about that. It's like, what did he do? He ain't never done nothing for nobody and all this and all that. You could tell they couldn't control the situation, and they are mad about it. Point blank.
She seemed like enough already. Like, I mean, she's just like, I've heard this a million times. This is not the truth.
Right.
What is wrong with y'all? You see us. We're healthy. We're not beat up. We're not being held against our will. We want to be here.
Right.
Like, what do you do at that point?
Right. I mean, we know how many times Joycelyn, they caught her on the streets, TMZ and all that, and she looked like she was perfectly fine, you know, without R. Kelly. So we know that he wasn't holding her against her will. She constantly kept on telling everybody, I am fine, I am happy where I'm at. But for some reason, the world wants to ignore that, and the media wants to keep telling the world that he is holding these women against, or that he was holding these women against their will. I mean, it is just crazy.
Just be honest. You know, if you're upset about the age difference, say that.
Right.
If you're upset about you're not a part of, you know, he's not helping you with what you want to do with your businesses, or, you know, to make money, you know, you're not a part of, you know, their life in that way, be honest about it.
Right.
Don't come tell us that these women are being held against their will.
Right.
And you don't know where they are, and you've been talking to them all along. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. And I believe that they are going to have to be held accountable for all these lies eventually. Eventually.
They should be.
Yeah. I think that we just can't afford to live in a world where people can just make up things, you know what I'm saying?
All people just
And even unless right. And let's say if R. Kelly goes to court and when he gets to trial he's innocent, like I think he will be, like you think he will be. What then? So all them lies that people told, what, they don't have to answer for that? Right. Jim Derogatis doesn't have to answer for all the 30 years of damage that he's done in the articles that he has written on R. Kelly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody involved.
Right. It's ridiculous, man. Gayle King, right? Now, this is what really got me, right? Gayle King said that this is more than just rumors. These are decades of allegations. I don't understand. What are the difference? What's the difference between rumor and allegations? I mean, I know it's a difference technically in the definition, but when you think about what she said, there's no difference on what she said. Right. Either way, they've been allegations. The same allegations have been rumors.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? He hasn't been convicted of anything.
Exactly.
You know, ain't been convicted of anything. He only went to trial. He only had one trial in his life, and he was acquitted.
What about the rumors on her?
Exactly.
For decades.
Right.
You know.
Well, you know, people don't never want to talk about themselves. You know, it, like I said, it's all fun and games, and it's all this and that until it's you or your family members. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But Gayle King also said that Mr. Clary had a very different account of what happened. And, you know, the way she was saying that was like that she believed him.
Yeah. Well, she basically said that.
Right.
Like, once he hears this, his head is going to explode. Like, you know, what about the girls, or I'm sorry, the women?
Right.
When they hear what's being said, their head is probably going to explode as well.
Right.
You know, she was very one-sided.
One-sided, like, I don't know what, man. It's terrible.
It was an 80-minute interview.
Yeah, like 80, 90 minutes, something like that.
And
yeah.
She picked out what she wanted to air.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, all for the ratings.
Yeah.
And you know, she was told to do that. I do believe that. You know, obviously, like I said, it is a machine after R. Kelly right now. You know what I'm saying? We talking about $1 billion catalog, everybody. You know what I'm saying? This is generational wealth here, generational money. You know, music that's gonna live for the rest of time. You know, and they can just keep reintroducing it, like I said, to the next generations. We all, at one point, grew up on our parents' music. We will remember our parents playing the music, like, you know what I'm saying, like the Temptations and all that, and Marvin Gaye and Rolls Royce and all that, you know what I'm saying? And some of us, we might have felt it a little bit then, but we didn't really appreciate that music until we got older.
The Azriel brothers,
right,
Green.
right.
I mean, it is, it's amazing how, you know, you can just take somebody's life like that.
Man.
You know, somebody with no record and just lock them up because somebody said this.
Right.
You know.
Well, this was the experiment. This was the experiment.
It's just amazing.
And they pulled it off.
Over 2 years, he's been locked up.
It's ridiculous.
And all the things that have been found out since then, all the lies.
Right. Well, you know.
I mean, it just, I'm sorry. It just, you know, I wasn't there, but some of the stuff that I've heard and seen have been lies. Period.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about that. Mainstream.
Right.
That's what I'm talking
Right.
about.
And that's what I'm saying. Man, they got a lot of things in place to prevent that from happening and to keep everybody distracted and stuff like that. And it's he has a machine against him, man. This is serious. And not saying that what he did is serious, because I don't believe he did any of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But the way they are after him, I mean, this is serious.
And they're doing it for the world to see.
Yep. And that's what I'm saying. No outrage.
And it's like, when are we going to come together and try to put a stop to this? Because it affects us all. If they can do this to this man,
they definitely wouldn't have no problem doing it to us.
Really?
Yeah. But see, that's what I'm saying, man. It's like I would love for our people to come together, man. But it's just like so many times, and so many things that I'm like, man, it's so many of us that are just fucking lost, man.
Yeah.
It's like we're fucking lost, man, and we're losing in every demographic of life. Every statistic you can think of, our people are losing, man. And it's like we just let the media tell us what to believe and all this and all that, and it's like, don't even second guess it. Don't even question these things.
Yeah.
When you can see certain injustice, but
there should be some sort of procedure when people of color, black people, whatever, are being done wrong, that every state, even in other countries, I mean, it should be something where we get together immediately and jump on top of it.
Right.
Because this is just seems like so wrong to me.
Yeah, we would have never, as an African American community, been able to go and snatch up Elvis or
Remember what you said about and if we had like in the Asian community, maybe they would have.
Because they got their homeland will come about. Yeah, we don't have that as African Americans in America. We don't have that. We don't have Africa's support to speak up for us, and you know what I mean. The Asians do. They have Asia's the Asian countries like Japan and China and stuff like that. They will speak up for them. You see what I'm saying? Europeans, they have that to speak up for them. Middle Eastern, they have that. You know what I mean? We don't. As because we didn't come to this country with free will. We was snatched up and forced here.
Yeah.
But Gail then said, right, and this is what I couldn't understand, why she wanted everybody to believe this nonsense. She said that R. Kelly would cough very loudly while standing right behind them. Now my thing is, if she could hear him coughing, why wouldn't we be able to hear him coughing?
Exactly.
I didn't hear no coughing. You know what I'm saying? It's like they just talk to us like we dumb, man.
What did he need to cough about?
Right. Exactly.
They didn't say anything wrong.
Exactly. But that's what they, that's the narratives that they was kicking. Is like a lot of people, man, just believe anything. You can literally tell a lot of people anything, y'all.
I was trying to think, what did they say that might have made him want to cough? and I could not figure out anything.
I couldn't either. But that's what she wanted us to believe.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, Gail, come on now. Really?
But check this one out, though. Now, that crook, allegedly, Daryl Johnson was there.
Oh, gosh.
There's a rumor that Stephen Greenberg was there. And anybody else that R. Kelly, his entourage, whoever was there, possibly, whatever. But she wanted the world to believe that he asked her makeup artist / photographer whether or not he should stop the interview with the women. Like, are they serious?
Oh my
Instead of
God.
asking his own people, should he stop the
wasn't
interview?
it in his house?
Right. Why would he have to ask them?
And it's not like it was live, so he could have stopped it himself.
Exactly. They are just ridiculous with it, man.
Oh, she was reaching.
Yeah. Yeah, she was reaching hard. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then when she gonna say, as a mother, I wanted to say, get your things, let's go. You're 21, you're 23, he's 52. You know what I'm saying? It's like, ain't nobody asking for your opinion on what, because you think that the age gap is, you know what I'm saying? That's your moral opinion.
That's what it's about, and the money. That's it.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like that, and that's why, and the fact that she got, you know, that raise, you know, in her salary for doing this crooked, you know what I'm saying? This crooked interview, this biased, one-sided interview. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna come to that man's house and interview that man like he guilty in his house?
Right.
You know, if I was him, I wouldn't even have let her release that interview.
I'm sure that she was kicking it to him like she wasn't gonna be on that though.
Right. Yeah, of course.
Because he could have gave that interview to anyone.
Yeah, and for real, he probably should have, you know, but he was advised, obviously, again, wrong. And you know, that's been happening to him. It seemed like his whole career he's been advised wrong.
Because I mean, who hired Daryl Johnson? I mean, who is this guy? Like Greenberg or like, you know, so I guess he was come to find out that he's Gail's friend.
Right.
So he was guided that way, I believe.
Right. And he said out his mouth that Greenberg hired him. Remember, he said he works for Greenberg. He doesn't work for R. Kelly.
Yeah, so
which was, you know, another red flag.
Yeah.
But then she's, you know, the fact that she said that, told America that his team said he wouldn't be in the room while interviewing the women, but as soon as they started, he entered the room. I mean, that's his house. That's his business, whether or not he's in the room or not. But my point is, why does she feel the need to let that be known? You know, why does she feel the need to let us know that?
Why does she want him out of the room?
Right, exactly.
That's the bigger question to
right,
me.
Yep.
Like, what was you going to do so wrong where you didn't want him to know about it?
Right.
Like, what were you trying to do?
She was out of pocket, man. She was really out of pocket, and us as you know, the African American community, man, we should have really checked her about that. But you know, they got everybody thinking R. Kelly is so guilty, man. You know, they used this man for 30 years, and now they ready to just throw this man under the bus and leave him with nothing. It's ridiculous. I mean, she was so out of pocket. Just asking them women, you know, is it a sexual three-way relationship and all that? I mean,
really? Who does that?
Right.
Who does that? These are grown women. Why would you? What is your business? Like,
right.
Really?
It isn't her business. It's no one's business. You know what I'm saying?
You know, she tried to pull this off, and she went on to Kobe next.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, people like shut her down immediately.
Right.
You know, and that should happen with R. Kelly too.
Yeah, it should have.
Yeah.
But you know, like I said, this machine and the, you know, the Me Too movement is you know, got a lot of pull right now in you know, America, you know, and in society, period.
Yeah.
They got a lot of pull, and I think that eventually,
that's power.
Yeah, that's power. You know, they so quick to say powerful men in America and all this and taking advantage of women and stuff, but look at the power in that. You know, how they're able to I mean, they're getting laws changed, man. They're getting laws put in and stopping people from making money and
that's something to talk about there.
Yeah, man.
That if I can't get you on this charge, let me go and change the law so I can.
Right.
That's
man, we
that's
heading.
That's what they did to Bill Cosby, right?
Yep. We heading in a terrible direction right now in America.
Why is it only happening to black people, people of color?
Right. Well, you know how it is. It's always been like that. You know, it's
How can
two
you
different. It's
change a
really two
law?
judicial systems.
Yeah.
Is you know what I'm saying? It's one for the African Americans and the minorities, mainly the African Americans, and it's one for the privilege.
Yeah, we gotta
You
start
know,
praying. We gotta pray and keep praying, and we gotta just, read our Bible, and we have to keep Jesus Christ in the center of everything we do. But we have to hit our knees all the time. Pray.
yeah,
It is bad out here. It is bad.
yeah,
That you can just take someone's life.
man, off of allegations, man, off of allegations, and the way they held that discovery for so long like that. It's like, geez, man, don't want to tell them, in America, according to the Constitution, we have a right to face our accusers.
Right.
They got Jane Doe's and everything's anonymous and they, holding discovery and, man, it's crazy, man.
This lawyer who allegedly didn't do anything he was supposed to do, basically, with the motions and getting this thrown out and that thrown out, and then the way he's talking now.
Right. Yeah.
Congratulating the prosecution for the job they're doing, and
wow.
I mean, that's crazy to me.
Wow. I mean, it's really a fucking circus, man. Excuse my language, everybody, but
2 months before this man is to go to trial.
Man, it's terrible. It is terrible. But we're gonna get ready and wrap this up. However, once again, we want to just ask the question: how is Azriel possibly going to be a credible witness for the prosecution? Because the way her sincerity in that interview, I just do not see how we are supposed to forget what she was saying in that interview. I mean, I believed everything she was saying myself. I really did. I mean, she seemed confident. She seemed like she wasn't lying. She was looking Gayle King directly in the eyes. She was stern. I mean, I don't understand how are we supposed to forget that. I just don't.
I don't understand a lot of these people that are saying they're victims. Their behavior doesn't fit that. And if they were hurt in any way, I hope they're getting the help that they need.
Right.
But I think, you gotta look inward. You gotta look inward, because you're gonna reap what you sow.
Yep.
It's in the Bible. You're gonna reap what you sow. So I'm just praying. Really, I'm praying. If nothing else, his due process was not granted to me. He just didn't get it.
Yeah.
I just don't believe he got that.
It was too much prosecutorial misconduct, in my opinion. I think that it was just too much violation on this man in the media. And the media, like Tupac said, the media be crucifying brother severely. And they sure as hell crucified R. Kelly. And, there's no way she can be credible, in my opinion. And for real, everybody, it's going to be her word versus Joycelyn's word. Pretty much anything that she says, Joycelyn is going to be there to dispute it. I just don't see how she's going to be credible at all. She's not credible. She's been too all over the place, like you said, baby. And that's just, my opinion on it. Us as people, right? I know in recent years, there's been, in my opinion, there's been an attempt to divide the African American man and the African American woman. We have to reunite. Now, I'm not saying that I don't have a problem with interracial, couples. I don't have a problem with that. I'm just saying I feel like there has been a push and there has been an agenda to separate the African American man and the African American woman. And we are best friends, like I've been saying, man. We come from the same struggle, the same American struggle. We come, what I'm saying? There's no reason for it to be this tension in the African American community between the man and woman. We have to rebuild that relationship. That's why I really love the fact that what me and my wife are doing, because we are showing that there is still good African American couples that can come together for a cause and that love each other and that can, you know what I'm saying? And to me, that's what I love about our channel, what our channel represents. It represents the African American man and the African American woman together as one. Unity.
Yes.
And no matter what people think about our opinion, you know what I'm saying, that you can't take away from this channel. But on another note, free R. Kelly. God bless everybody. Like, share, and subscribe. Donate to the channel. That'll be a blessing if you want to support the channel. We really appreciate it.
God bless all y'all. We love all y'all. We do. We got to come together. You know, we have to. We got to start talking more, you know, passing ideas by each other, you know, trying to come up with something. We need all of us, you know?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
We appreciate you guys so much.
Yes, we do. And on that note, God bless you once again. We'll holler at y'all on the next one. Peace.